Hello students, in today's video lecture we will be talking about the concept of short term regulation of blood pressure and long term regulation of blood pressure. Means what are the compensatory mechanism that are involved in short term regulation and in long term regulation. One by one we will study both. First we will talk about the short term regulation, and as we know the short term regulation is a kind of neurological regulation, means there will be the involvement of neuronal chemicals. So starting from the heart, शॉर्ट में if we talk about what we are going to studies, हम बात करने जा रहे हैं जो बीपी रेज होता है हाइपरटेंशन में, उसको शॉर्ट टर्म में बॉडी इटसेल्फ कैसे रेगुलेट करती है उसको एक सेट पॉइंट पे मेंटेन करने के लिए। तो हम बात करते हैं शॉर्ट टर्म रेगुलेशन की, जिसमें हमारा आता है न्यूरोनल रेगुलेशन। लुक, दिस ब्लैक कलर स्ट्रक्चर इज अ हार्ट and from the left ventricle there will be originating aorta. This aorta as come out form aortic arc. There is arc of aorta. This arc of aorta further goes up for the supply of blood in the brain, and the part which is supplied blood in the brain is through the vessels which is carotid artery. In the carotid artery there is a place called carotid sinus. Carotid sinus will be near to the branching of aorta. Look, aorta which is coming out from the left ventricle, as soon as it come out it form aortic arc, and aortic arc forwardly it forms carotid sinus. These two places are very important while we study the short term regulation, neuronal regulation, because they are supplied by a special kind of nerves. Here as I represented this blue color nerve which is connected with the central nervous system and to this carotid sinus, and in the same way there is a red color nerve that is connected with the central nervous system with this point, later on I will discuss what is it, and to this aortic arc. So the end of these neurons, or you can say these nerves, are forming a special kind of sensory receptor. These are special kind of sensory receptor. In this, when we talk about carotid sinus, number 9th nerve which is glossopharyngeal, originating from the cranial and supplied their branches to this carotid sinus. Now, and in same way the number 10th nerve supplied to the branches to their aortic arc. Actually, when the blood come out from the left ventricle to the aorta during the ventricular contraction, or you can say the ventricular ejection, there are the supplied nerves at the end having a special kind of receptor in both, whether it is 10th or 9th. These ends are actually have capability to sense whether the blood pressure in this area is high or less. If the cardiac output will be high, then the BP in this area will be high. If the cardiac output in this area will be high, then again same. So these receptors are called baroreceptor, and these receptors are responsible, they have capability to sense if there is drop in BP and even they can also sense if there is raise in BP. अगर यहाँ पे प्रेशर ज़्यादा है ड्यू टू प्रेजेंस ऑफ ब्लड इजेक्शन तो उसको सेंस कर लेंगे, और दे विल से टू द सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम जस्ट फायर द सिस्टम दैट regulate that increased level to the set point. In a same way here, like this 9th and 10th nerve, 9th is glossopharyngeal, 10th is vagus nerve. These two nerves, first we will talk if a BP becomes high, how the system, neuronal system regulate to keep the BP up at a set point. Let's suppose अगर BP बॉडी में क्या हो गया है, राइज हो गया है, तो हम उसको क्या करेंगे, कैसे मेंटेन करेंगे एक सेट पॉइंट पे. तो लेट सपोज यहां का प्रेशर बैरो रिसेप्टर ने सेंस किया कि दीज थिंग्स बैरो रिसेप्टर ने सेंस किया कि यहां पे प्रेशर ज्यादा है दोनों एरिया पे. थ्रू दिस न्यूरॉन मैसेज विल बी सेंड टू दिस एरिया, एंड थ्रू दिस वेगर नर्व, सेम ग्लॉसोफेरिंजियल वेगस नर्व, मैसेज विल बी सेंड टू this area. This area present connected with these two nerves in the central nervous system in the medulla is called tractus solitarius. Means tractus solitarius supplied by the nerve branches that are coming from the carotid sinus as well as aortic arc. And once they sense that there is rise in BP, these baroreceptor sends the signal that the BP is high, and this signal is sent to the tractus solitarius. Now this tractus solitarius is linked with two things. Nearby it is connected with the cardiac inhibitory center. This cardiac inhibitory center is directly connected with this one branch of the vagus nerve. This is also a vagus nerve. At right side there will be right vagus nerve, on the left side there will be left vagus nerve. This right vagus nerve, one takes the message from the tractus solitarius that the BP is high, so this vagus nerve become stimulated, and once this become stimulated, this cardiac inhibitory center become stimulated, there will be sending action potential, to this SA node, because these supplied over the sinoauricular node, and these vagus nerve once stimulated responsible for the release of acetylcholine. As we have already studied that acetylcholine is responsible for decreasing in firing out through the SA node, so that once this acetylcholine releases, there will be suppression of sinoauricular node, and that's result in decreased heart rate, and decreased heart rate results in decreased cardiac output, and that maintains the increased BP, because cardiac output will decrease due to acetylcholine. Decreased cardiac output will minimize the increased BP. This is the small mechanism. This is the regulatory mechanism through the vagus nerve. Now, another pathway in the central nervous system, like tractus solitarius is getting signal of the increased BP through the glossopharyngeal and through the vagus nerve. Now this tractus solitarius also, when BP will be high, this will tractus solitarius will send the signal to the vasomotor center at the medulla oblongata. Now this vasomotor center will be inhibited. This जब BP हाई होगा, this center will be inhibited by this tractus solitarius, and this center is responsible, descending neuron from this center goes to the vasomotor fibers sympathetic fiber, and these sympathetic fiber goes over the various towards the arterial system as well as venous system. Because of its sensed, they are sensing that BP is high with the help of these two neurons, so that central nervous system wants to minimize, reduce this increased BP, and on the effect this tractus solitarius inhibit this vasomotor center. Vasomotor center once get inhibited, this center is connected with the sympathetic outflow. Once this center will be inhibited, sympathetic outflow will be inhibited, and when these sympathetic outflow will be inhibited, the sympathetic hormones or neurotransmitter like adrenaline, noradrenaline does not perform their action because these are now inhibited. The function of adrenaline and noradrenaline is to keep us, they are actually the vasoconstrictor. If there is a venous return, if there will be constriction, there will be higher venous return, there will be increased preload, there will be increase in BP because there is already increased in blood pressure. So because of their inhibition, there will be decrease in blood pressure. We can say there will be regulation of increased blood pressure to the certain point. In the same way, these fibers, this sympathetic outflow also control the tone of arterial system, and once, because they are responsible for contracting the arterial system, means for increasing the diastolic BP, once they itself will be inhibited due to inhibition of this vasomotor center. These vasomotor center once inhibited, these sympathetic outflow will also be inhibited. If this outflow will be inhibited, this does not produce their action, and arterial become dilated, and once the arterial become dilated, there will be fall in diastolic BP. So this is the normal mechanism how the neuronal various neurons and their neurotransmitters are actually responsible for short-term regulation of BP. This time we suppose that BP is become, first we considered BP is high, then we will consider BP is suppose that less. Then how it will control? If BP will be less BP will be sensed by these two neurons, baroreceptor, and at the baroreceptor these decreased BP will be sensed by these baroreceptor, and the signal will be sent to this tractus solitarius. Now this tractus solitarius, earlier it was stimulating when there was increased in BP, now this time there is BP fall, then there will be inhibition. Inhibition of this vagus nerve is responsible for decrease in the release of acetylcholine, because acetylcholine was responsible for decreasing the BP. So decreased acetylcholine will result in boost the firing of SA node. When there will be increased in heart rate, there will be increased in cardiac output, increased in BP. Earlier it was reduced, but due to this signal, now the cardiac output become high. In the same way, initially when the BP was high, vasomotor center was inhibited, but this time when BP is less, vasomotor center will be stimulated, and this sympathetic outflow will become also stimulated, and once they stimulated, they perform venoconstriction, increased preload, increased cardiac filling, increased cardiac output, maintain BP. Same, increase the contraction of arterioles, increase the total peripheral resistance, increase the diastolic BP. So this is the small mechanism or the neuronal circuit which you have to be very clear cut idea. In the same way, this is the short term management of the body. In the same way, there is a long term management of the body in which the body regulates its blood pressure by activating the renin angiotensin pathway. So now we have covered, or we have made a concept of short term regulation of BP. When BP become high, how it will get minimized to a set point, and when it become minimized, how it will get up to a set point. It means we have now clear concept of short term regulation. Now we will talk about long term regulation. Look, like this is heart, and this heart is, this is your, there are 4 chambers of the heart, and there is aorta, and these aorta finally get back to the, by forming various, like what, this is the arterial system, or there will be some of capillary, and this is venous system. The diagram is the purpose just for making you better understand. So this is, now look, we are studying now RAS, renin-angiotensin aldosterone system. Look, suppose there is a kidney, okay, at the top of the kidney there will be adrenal gland, and inside the adrenal gland there will be neurons like this. This. Now look, suppose that there is a, from right ventricle there will be pulmonary artery, and there will be lungs, and from the lung it's will get back to pulmonary vein. Look, in the renin-angiotensin aldosterone system there will be the release of renin. Let's suppose there is a puncturing of blood vessels, and that is responsible for release of drop of blood, and this drop of blood is actually responsible for decrease in BP, or you can consider the case of hemorrhage. In the case of hemorrhage there will be loss of blood, and loss of blood results in the decrease in BP. Once this BP become decreased in the blood vessels in the body, this decreased BP is sensed by whatever the mechanism we have studied earlier, neuronal mechanism. Here I am not going to discuss. Here I am going to discuss the RAS system. So the decreased BP is sensed by, this is venous system, and veins are also supplied to this area, and we can say like this. So when the BP is decreased, BP is sensed by there at the neuron, at the distal convoluted tubule there will be a special kind of apparatus, and this apparatus is known as juxtaglomerular apparatus. This apparatus is what? Juxtaglomerular apparatus. This juxtaglomerular apparatus, it sensed the decreased BP, and once it is sensed the decreased BP, from these cells this releases a special kind of enzyme called renin. A special kind of enzyme called renin, and this renin once come into the bloodstream get back into the venous system, and through the venous system it get back to the right heart, and from here there will also be mixing of a important protein, that is, this is your liver, and from the liver there will be angiotensin angiotensinogen inside the liver. This is your liver, and in the liver there will be a protein called angiotensinogen. These angiotensinogen is normally formed in the liver and circulated in the blood. Once these release renin from the juxtaglomerulus apparatus, which is the release of juxtaglomerulus, the release of renin is just because there will be sensing receptor in the JG cell of the kidney, and these sensing receptors sense the decreased BP and release the renin. And renin, once the angiotensin which is synthesized at the liver is sensed by this renin during the flow, when sensed the, like this is renin, this flowed from this side, and renin जैसे ही फ्लो होके उसके साथ क्या आएगा, एंजियोटेंसिनोजन. दिस रेनिन कन्वर्ट एंजियोटेंसिनोजन into angiotensin first. Now this angiotensin first float in the blood in the right atrium to right ventricle, pulmonary artery, and once when it is reaches to the lungs, there is a special kind of enzymes called angiotensin converting enzyme, ACE. These ACE convert AT1 into AT2, angiotensin 2. Now this angiotensin 2 through the pulmonary vein comes into the left atrium, and from the left atrium it goes to the left ventricle, and from the left ventricle with the help of aorta, arterial system and venous system it goes to whole body. Now as the angiotensin second has reached up to here, as we know the pharmacology of angiotensin second in such a way that angiotensin works like a potent vasoconstrictor. It works like a potent vasoconstrictor. तो एंजियोटेंसिन क्या है, नेचुरली ये पोटेंट वैसोकॉन्स्ट्रिक्टर है. तो अब ये क्या करेगा, आर्टेरियल साइड में भी वेनोकॉन्स्ट्रिक्शन करेगा एंड टुवर्ड्स द वीनस साइड एज वेल. तो आर्टेरियल साइड में जब वेनोकॉन्स्ट्रिक्शन करेगा देयर विल रेज इन TPR, total peripheral resistance, mean diastolic BP will become diastolic BP, DBP will become high, diastolic BP increase होगा. हम बात किससे कर रहे थे, हेमरेज से. BP क्या हो रहा था हमारा इनिशियली, फॉल. ये पूरी पाथवे हुआ, रेनिन रिलीज हुआ, एंजियोटेंसिनोजन लीवर से आया, रेनिन ने उसको कन्वर्ट किया एंजियोटेंसिन 1 में, एंजियोटेंसिन 1 फ्लोट होकर कहाँ गया, लंग्स में. लंग्स में ACE एंजाइम मिला, एंजियोटेंसिन कन्वर्टिंग एंजाइम. AT1 को कन्वर्ट किया AT2 में, एंजियोटेंसिन 2 में. डेकापेप्टाइड और ऑक्टापेप्टाइड, 2 पेप्टाइड का फर्क होता है इसमें. ये हमारे डेकापेप्टाइड होते हैं या ऑक्टापेप्टाइड होते हैं. अब जब एंजियोटेंसिन 2 आया तो इसे नेचुरली क्या है, पोटेंट वैसोकॉन्स्ट्रिक्टर. इसने आर्टेरियल सिस्टम को कॉन्स्ट्रिक्ट किया और बीपी को बढ़ाया, डायस्टोलिक बीपी को. वेनस सिस्टम को कॉन्स्ट्रिक्ट करेगा और क्या बढ़ाएगा, ये प्रीलोड. वेनस रिटर्न बढ़ाएगा, वेनस रिटर्न बढ़ेगा तो प्रीलोड बढ़ेगा, प्रीलोड बढ़ेगा तो कार्डियक आउटपुट इंक्रीज होगा, कार्डियक आउटपुट इंक्रीज होगा तो बीपी हाई होगा. तो अर्लियर बीपी वाज लेस एंड नाउ these two mechanisms are responsible for increasing the diastolic BP as well as systolic BP. So apart from these two actions, by increasing the diastolic BP and the systolic BP, angiotensin also helps through some other mechanism, like angiotensin second is also once goes to the kidney when it flows and come into the adrenal gland. In the adrenal gland there are 3 layers. First layer is zona glomerulata, second is zona fasciculata, and last one is zona reticularis. Zona glomerulata, zona fasciculata and zona reticularis. When angiotensin 2 during the flow in the blood vascular compartment, and when it comes to the adrenal gland, in the adrenal gland there is a part which is zona glomerulata. Zona glomerulata, because of its potent vasoconstrictor nature, it is stimulated and zona glomerulata releases aldosterone. aldosterone. Now the aldosterone is a hormone and responsible for increasing the reabsorption of sodium and hydrogen ion. This is responsible for increasing the reabsorption of sodium and hydrogen ion. तो जब ये रीएब्जॉर्प्शन सोडियम का इंक्रीज करेंगे, रीएब्जॉर्प्शन इंक्रीज करने का मतलब है कि उनका एक्सक्रीशन कम होगा. तो रीएब्जॉर्प्शन में जब बॉडी के अंदर सोडियम आयन का लेवल बढ़ेगा तो सोडियम आयन का लेवल अगर ब्लड में बढ़ेगा तो ब्लड प्रेशर क्या होगा, विल इंक्रीज बीपी. तो 3 तरीके से हैं रेनिन, एंजियोटेंसिन, एल्डोस्टेरोन सिस्टम में. फर्स्ट, लेट्स हैव अ रीकैप in a faster way. First, let's suppose there is a hemorrhage, for loss of blood, decrease in BP, sensed by juxtaglomerular cell of the kidney, responsible for the release of renin. Side by side, naturally, liver synthesize angiotensinogen. Angiotensinogen once combined with this released renin. Renin convert angiotensinogen into angiotensin first. Angiotensin first flowed with the pulmonary artery once reaches in the lungs. Angiotensin converting enzyme present in the lungs convert AT1 to AT2. AT2 is naturally a potent vasoconstrictor. Diastolic BP high, BP become high diastolic BP. Potent vasoconstrictor, venous return, cardiac output high, maintains the decreased BP. And in one way it is also responsible for, AT2 is also responsible for constricting the adrenal gland present on the kidney, and this adrenal gland, part of adrenal gland which is zona glomerulata, responsible for the release of aldosterone. Aldosterone is responsible for increasing the reabsorption of sodium and hydrogen ions. Once these ions are reabsorbed, means remain in the blood, they will become, the blood volume become, अगर ये reabsorbed होके ब्लड में आ जाएंगे, बाहर एक्सक्रीट नहीं होंगे, तो blood volume become high. When the blood volume become high, there will be increased in BP. So these two mechanisms are responsible for regulating the blood pressure in a short term and in a long term. So I hope कि आप लोगों को ये समझ में आ गया होगा. Thank you so much.